right, let's keep going with this introduction series to painting, and let's talk about paint brushes. Well, I'm throwing Let's start talking about paint brushes. It's a very important subject because you're going to need some brushes, sooner rather than later. As soon as you're done, building your stuff, you want to paint. Well, let's start with this. I think the best way to get started with brushes is to buy 3 of them. It does not really matter, in my mind, what brand you choose to start with, because for the first month or so at least, there's going to be a little bit of a trial and error. And I'll get more into that later. But what's important is you get 3 and you get a big one, a medium one, and a small one. And then whatever you or the person at the game store says, this is a large one, medium one, and a small one. And so for example, here these are Games Workshop. I had them on hand. So this one here is the extra large base. This one here is the medium base, and this one here is a small layer. So this here gives me a good enough set of one very large one medium one, like kind of an all-purpose guy, and one fine detail one for finer details. And once you start kind of painting with this, you're soon going to realize that which one you like and why. So a couple of example. Well, this one is very large, but a lot of people, they like this shape, like the little angle on it is really nice. Some people hate this with a passion. I kind of like the little angle, so I don't mind this brush being kind of too big because the fact that it's angle gives you a little bit more precision. Also, I don't use this one for precision because I have other options. And then this one, same thing. The base series has a really weird shape. It's like a popsicle. I call this popsicle shape. It's kind of odd. Some people really like that, and it's great for larger surfaces. It's also great when it gets damaged a little bit to get a good dry brush going, but this is neither here nor there. And then the small layer is really a kind of the eyes and super small detail thing. And so what this allows you is kind of to pick your own little set of 3 brushes to go on, so that you always end up. So maybe after a while you go, oh, well, this large one is way too large, so you end up. And then this one, you just go, well, I like the size, but not the shape, so you get something similar. And this one, you go, this one was perfect, I love this. And then you keep going with this. And then maybe you try to experiment with different brands and stuff until you find kind of your sweet spot of this is what I like. And then this changes, over the years, or depending on the techniques that you enjoy. But you're going to find your favorite, so it doesn't matter that, for example, this one here is a 1. Okay, this is my go-to paintbrush. It's a Winsor & Newton 1. But a lot of people, the 1 is what they would consider a medium brush. For me, it's the smaller one. I rarely use something smaller than this. So Max only uses a 1, so I'm only going to use a 1. Well, why? No, don't be like that. You use whatever you like. So if you buy one like this, I want to be like Max. He's my idol. Oh my God. First, don't rethink your life. Yeah. So if you buy a 1. And you go, oh man, this is hard doing details. Well, get yourself a 0 or a double 0 or a triple 0, whatever. Go with this one. I just don't like smaller brushes. And the same thing. This is my go-to one. This is a 3, and the 3 is one of those larger ones. But I love this one. This one gets the most use out of all of my others. It's great for base coats. It's great for washes. I love this one. So find yourself a pack, and then again you can go. We'll go into brands and little details. But again, start with kind of the thing. I like the Games Workshop. I think are reasonably priced. They're not super expensive for the quality that you get. I think it's a very happy medium. I think the red ones from Army Painter has the red ones and white brushes. The red ones are my favorite. Comes in all crazy. The weird part about the gaming brushes is that they come with crazy weird names instead of sizes, right? This is Winsor & Newton's an art company, and it goes with the standard thing 321000000. These ones are all crazy thing, small layer, medium base, small base, whatever. And then the Army Painter is regiment, hobby, character, whatever. So they're a little. This is the most hard to grasp for a beginner. But the Army Painter, I think, is the hobby yeah, the hobby brushes, the red ones, basically. If the handle's red, is the ones that I like. I think they're priced really reasonably for starter sets and stuff. So these are kind of I like those ones when you're kind of getting started, and then once you found like your range, then it's worth it getting like these higher end products. And speaking of higher ends, this is a really interesting topic. For example, there's two main brands that are like real art brand. I always say real with a little asterisk. So Winsor & Newton Series 7 is kind of the go-to for a lot of people. And then the other is Raphael's Master Series. And so Raphael's are black with the orange ending, and then the Winsor & Newtons are like this. And they are kind of expensive. This is like 20, on a good day it's a $20 brush. And it goes up on like, bad days. And Raphael's is the same, and I usually wait for them to be on sale on Amazon, and I buy a bunch. That's kind of my secret. I've done that for years, is I look at the two, and to me, they're really interchangeable. I know some people love one, hate the other. There are bad batches and there are good batches. There's nothing you can do about that. That's the main problem with it. So my strategy for Winsor & Newtons and Raphael's is I check both online, and when I need or when I'm about, like this one here is on kind of its last legs a little bit, so I'm going to need to upgrade soon. So now I've been checking regularly on Amazon to see if they come on sale, and as soon as they're going to go on sale, whichever brand, I'm going to buy 4, 5, 6, and that will last me like 2 years. And then you can go kind of the lower end of this, like the entry level of high-end brushes, I think is Rosemary & Co. I think this is the best, really the best bang for your buck, because you get the premium brush at like a very low price, and I would not touch anything else than what the three brands I've just talked about. Especially when it comes to like high-end brushes, a lot of company. Well, whatever. I'll just say. I think, for example, Artist Opus is one of the worst one in that regards, where they try to market you as like this high-end product. It's not a high-end product, but you are paying a premium price because it says Artist Opus on the handle. I think that one is terrible. I've heard a lot of good things about the Monument brush, Wick, I think Pro Wick or Bomb Wick or something like that. I've never tried them. They're on my list of things to buy to try. So if you've tried the Wick from Monument Hobbies, just drop a comment, I guess, and tell me, did you like it, not like it. But again, Rosemary & Co. really good. And then these ones, I've been really happy. Again, your mileage may vary on this. So what I do with brushes, my go-to strategy is to buy a couple, and then they go through like a whole kind of cycle, right? So at some point they start brand new, and then they get a lot of wear and tear. Now they end up like this guy here. This guy has lived a full life. And when it gets like this, I use it for a whole lot of purposes that are very hardcore, right? Like dry brushing, putting glue on bases and whatnot, and washes and stuff. And then I keep one that's like that's finer and that's in good shape. And then this one is kind of like it's in good shape. And then once it starts to damage, because I paint a lot, then it's gonna switch into this rotation and it's gonna live a tougher life, and it's gonna start doing dry brushes and whatnot. And so I kind of rotate them. So I always kind of have like a 3 on hand at any given time, of like one beaten up, one finer one, and one brand new, so that I never really run out of a good brush. And then the last thing I'll let you guys know about these brushes, that brushes have a very short like life cycle, and there are two main ways that they get broken or damaged. And again, I've sold tens of thousands of these brushes over the past like decade and so of working in stores and having a store and stuff. And it's always the same two things. Okay, your brush will end up either in a C shape or a V shape, and that means it's damaged. So when it's a C shape, it means that the bristles at the end are like this. Okay, so it's like a little C. If the bristles at the end go like this, what that means is you've put too much work on your brush. So for example, let's say this brush here has 10,000 strokes before it curves. If you do like a base coat, if I take like, I don't know, just like this thing here, like the panel of a tank, and then I try to base coat it with this brush, it's going to take me 100 little stroke. Whereas if I take this guy here, Mr. Subtlety itself, it's going to take me like 5. So this one here for 100 little passes to cover this has 20 times more uses than this one in just one sitting. So, and this is kind of the beginner damage number one, because everybody tries to use a brush that's way too small for what they want. And while it's not bad by itself, because, you know, like if you get the paint where you want it, congratulations, but you put a lot of extra wear and tear on your brushes, and at some point the hair goes like this at the end, and it's very frustrating. Because then there's no coming back once you get that. And the cheaper the brush, the faster it does this. There's a brand on Amazon that I call One Uses Brush. They're the cheap one. They're like $25 for a pack of 100. But you use it once, the bristles go like this instantly. So that's problem number one. So if your brushes always do this, try using a bigger brush to do whatever it is that you're doing consistently, and you will expand that brush's life. Second thing is the V shape. So at some point, your brushes, this one is it starting to do it? No, it's still good. Is your brushes will go like this. Okay, the end, instead of being like this shape, is going to be this shape. When that happens, usually what it means is that you did not clean it properly and paint has dried in the ferrule, so the little metallic part here. Once paint like seeps into the brush and dries in here, as it dries, the hair splits, and there is no coming back from that. I use a little soap here. Once it dries there, it's done for. Like this little shape here, it's never coming back. And that is really, that's I think the most common problem across the entire hobby world is this, because it is very counterintuitive, and it's just as you paint, the longer you, let's say you do, I don't know, a unit of 10 models or whatever, as you paint, the paint will progressively go towards the fur, because every time you dip it, it goes just like a little bit further down the bristles. So you need to, at some point, if you're doing like long sessions, you need to stop, wash your brush, and then keep going. But for, you know, I don't know what reason, but we as like painters and gamers, maybe it's because we want to be done or whatever, we don't stop and clean the brush nearly enough, and it does that. So just stopping, rinsing your brush, and then starting again, it saves you, and you have to kind of drill. I'm telling you, like at some point you realize that you're doing it, and it's kind of I heard I should be rinsing, but you know, it's something you have to force yourself to do. It's really it has to become like a reflex, but getting to that reflex or habit, it's hard. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, especially you know, because you don't want to do it because you want to paint, you know. So rinsing your brush will take care of this, and never having paint, you know, go exactly where it's dried on mine. This is a terrible example. Yeah, it's all dry there, but on the metallic part, there should not be paint there, because your paint should never reach that point in a brush, because that's how you damage it. I hope this was kind of helpful to get you started. So get three brushes, one large, one medium, one small, and then adjust as you go. Is your big one too big? Is it not big enough? Is your small one too small, not small enough? Or do you like your medium one? And then adjust, and once you found like something that you're really comfortable, then splurge a little bit, and then go the higher end and the higher end and the higher end.